Hey guys, I'm Birdie and welcome back to my channel. This is Clown Cows. Disclaimer. Anything I say, write, imply, or speculate on is my personal thoughts and opinions and should never be taken as fact because it's not. This channel, including in the comments section, is nothing more or less than the sharing of opinions and personal views on publicly accessible information made public by its owners. I'm a flawed human, and so my opinions may be flawed as well. Okay, let's get into this. Today's video is about what I believe the true dynamic to be between Amber and her mother, Kristine. I don't think it's what either of them have attempted to show us deliberately, but I do believe the clues are there to point us toward one defining but solid word to describe how they feel about one another, and that's resentful. Amber has tried to make us think that she and Kristine are besties, that they were separated but brought back together by circumstance, and now they share a strong, unbreakable bond. But what if the bond is really just placation? And what if the bestie is really just the yes man? What if nothing is as it seems to be? And furthermore, what if Amber has done something worthy of being exiled? Spoiler alert, I think she did. I've watched so many of the videos where Amber has shown herself interacting with Kristine and paying attention to Amber's body language, her words, and knowing that she's very vengeful and manipulative. I've come to a conclusion. Amber does not want Kristine to be happy. And let's think about that because why would she? She blames Kristine for her body, for her failed relationships, her poor mental health, and even for her overwhelming dependency on food. Just by paying attention to things that Amber has said in Amber's videos and then connecting the cause and effect as Amber has said she sees it. Well, Amber has told us that she binges and developed a food addiction because of CPTSD. She says that her mental health is poor because of childhood trauma. She said that her body is a reflection of the abuse she has put it through because of trauma. She actually said that the only one she abuses is herself. And she said that we can know that just by looking at her because she's over 500 pounds. She told us this during a Crash Out live stream when she and Emily had broken up again. But most important to this argument is that Amber always says that she has the problems that she has due to the trauma of having drug-dependent parents. So she does, in fact, blame Kristine, her mother, for every obstacle that she faces or has faced, including the issues and traumas Amber claimed to have survived during foster care. It was all because Mommy Dearest didn't choose Amber. She should have. Kristine had babies, and Kristine and her husband George were both very responsible for raising their children in a safe environment where they would receive nurture and care, and where at the very least, the basic needs of those children would always be met. They definitely did not do that, though. Now, I do think that she also blames her dad, but she'll unleash her resentment all on Kristine because she's the one there to face it. Why hold this strong contempt for George and let all that anger build up and brew internally from within when Amber can't punish him because he isn't even around? However, she can punish Kristine over and over again. I believe Amber thinks quite often with her depressive episodes and her quickly deteriorating health that if only her parents had been better, had put her first, had not abandoned her, she might be living the normal life that she doesn't get to live, and she likely wouldn't be facing the real likelihood of passing away so young. Do any of you remember the video Amber did many, many years ago? The one where she sat on a mattress that may have been on the floor, but she cried and she cried and she cried because she didn't want to die young, and she knew that she would if she couldn't get help for this food dependency that she had developed because of trauma. In that video, Amber also stated that she was 25 and could not do the normal things that someone her age should be able to do. It was as if Amber was having this moment of inflection. Amber was realizing everything that Amber was missing because Amber wouldn't get help for that food addiction. The trauma that Amber faced was never Amber's fault. She was just a child. It wasn't within her control. It wasn't her choice. But as an adult, once Amber had the means and the ability and the know-how to get help, Amber was responsible for getting herself help. But I don't think she sees it that way. I think it's so much easier to scapegoat Kristine for everything wrong that has ever happened since the minute Amber was born. Now, in this video, although I do think that Amber holds both of her parents responsible for her childhood, I'm only going to focus on Kristine because this video is about Amber's relationship with her mother and what I believe the real dynamic to be. It's not going to be about George because he's not around. He has not been around, and Amber has no contact with him, no real consistent contact with him, even if she does hear from him every few years. Now, I think this is important to focus this on Amber and Kristine because, as we're about to get into, Amber is being forced to see Kristine in all Kristine's glory. I figure that it must burn so deeply for Amber too, because she gets to see Mommy Dearest living what appears to be her best life. Sober for a decade, except for the gambling. She's got a job, a car, an apartment that's not empty because now she has Stephen, the man who put a ring on it, even though she is still technically married to George. But nevertheless, Amber is living in outright hell, which she blames on her ruined childhood, due in large part to her mother. Yet she's watching her mother live her best life. The punishment is veiled in passive-aggressive speech. If we just listen closely to Amber, it is so easy to see that Amber very much feels that Kristine owes her. Despite Amber being nearly 35 years old, when talking about the numerous trips late night to the ER and the criticism Amber had gotten from her audience, she would say things along the line of, "Well, of course my mom wants to take me. What type of mother wouldn't want to take her daughter to the ER? And of course she takes me. She's my mom." This, in my opinion, was a swift, firm slap in Kristine's face. It felt very much like Amber was passive-aggressively pointing out that Kristine is expected to perform certain duties because she is still a parent, and Amber knows that Kristine is fully aware that she never carried out those duties in the past. And I don't think Kristine cares very much for Amber either, not at all. But I do believe she's aware enough of her daughter's problems to know that she can avoid the tantrums and stress if she just placates her and stays the yes man. And I think for a year or so it actually worked. But then, as it always eventually does, the tide, so to speak, began to turn. Amber used to hang out at the bingo hall with Kristine several nights a week, laughing and having fun. Kristine and Stephen, to be exact. But then, rumors circulated that Amber had claimed feeling uncomfortable because she thought Stephen was looking at her creepily. Now, if you've watched Amber for any length of time, you know with what she says herself that she wants everyone. Gay, straight, young, old, single, married, door dasher, it doesn't matter. She just wants everyone to be attracted to her. I don't think she was ever the pretty or popular girl that she always wanted to be. So when Amber gets to walk in the wild, she takes common small talk and poises it as flirtatiousness. She takes someone looking at her most likely out of sheer uncontrollable shock, and she tells stories of them just not being able to take their eyes off of her. I think Amber is so jealous of her mom living the life that Amber wishes she could live, that Amber began to set things up to get closer to Stephen so Amber could eventually tell her mom that Stephen made her feel uncomfortable due to how he looked at her or due to him being around her so much. Amber is, after all, the queen of lying and manipulating. She always wants to get her way, and she believes that Kristine is hers and Kristine owes her. Amber has a possessiveness about her, and I do think it extends far beyond her intimate relationships with her partners. Think about it. Amber started trying to sweeten herself up to Stephen, his name becoming a regular mention in Amber's vlogs. She started inviting him over with Kristine to eat supper in Amber's apartment. She was buying him gifts, getting him something for Father's Day, and even very casually bringing Stephen in to being part of Amber's group. And I called that. Amber meticulously, and possibly without Stephen even realizing it, made him part of her group. And I think she did this so she could eventually be close enough to Stephen to try and cause her mother doubts within her relationships with him. If we think deeply, it was only after Amber started seeing her mom once a week, max, that Stephen, Kristine's longtime boyfriend, gave her an engagement ring. I think Kristine and Stephen's relationship was being greatly stressed because of Amber, her neediness, her tantrums, and just the basic drama that she seems to bring into the lives of others. However, I think that was precisely Amber's plan all along, because again, why should the woman who abandoned her and caused her to live in every level of hell get to live as if none of it ever happened? Let's also not only consider the fact that Amber revealed to us when she was talking on that live stream a while back with Tammy that she only leaves the house once a week. It's when she gets to see her mother, and I believe she said it was on Saturdays, and they go to play bingo. This, I believe, was only a few months ago, and it's also when the vlogs came to a halt. No more grocery hauls where toilet paper was never bought. No more trips to restaurants with mom, and even the regularly scheduled syndicated ER runs became fewer and fewer. But the fast food, it started being delivered more and more. The absence of Kristine was having a noticeable effect on Amber, as it appeared that Amber's plan had failed and Kristine had ultimately chosen Stephen. Now, Amber has still mentioned her mother, but seemingly just to humiliate her. She brings up her mother's financial issues by reporting that her mother cannot afford a product that she badly wants. And she just had to drag her mother into the whole bed bug debacle by telling us that her mom has the same marks on her arms, too. I think Kristine knows the way Amber talks about her. And this is off topic slightly, but not entirely. But imagine how embarrassed Kristine must be with Amber going on a public platform and talking about very sexual topics and constantly being questioned about her hygiene. I think at first, Mama Lynn, as she was once called, thought that her daughter was this YouTube star, but she likely realized fairly quickly that she was little more than a laughing stock for not bathing and for potentially or allegedly wiping her ass on a sink. There's been some speculation that Kristine is or was bathing Amber, as Amber's greasy hair seemed to get washed around the time that her mother would come and visit. Now, we know that her mom took her to the laundromat a couple of times, but I don't think her mother ever really helped her clean her apartment. And there's no way at this stage, with Amber being as fat as she has gotten, that she would allow Kristine to see her in that state and become her home health aide. Though I would not put it past Amber one bit to have had Kristine at the ER for another bout of heart palpitations and to not so subtly blame her weight on childhood trauma because her parents were drug addicts and abandoned her before pointing out that her mom is sitting right there. Just as Emily has a humiliation kink, in my opinion, Amber has a side of her that wants to punish her mother through humiliation, stress, and I think if Kristine were to relapse, Amber would celebrate because Amber sees her mom in recovery and Amber knows that her own addiction has a stronghold on her. Amber always loses. She lost as a child, she lost as a young adult, and it has come full circle as once again she meets her forsaker after years apart, and while Amber never recovered from the trauma, her mother is living like it never happened. Neither mother nor daughter trusts the other, in my opinion. I think Kristine sees what Amber is, and she knows what Amber does, but she doesn't directly intervene and compromise her sobriety because of the stress Amber has caused. It was like when Kristine declared during that text message exchange with Aunt Tammy over Emily and what Tammy feared Emily's intentions might be, when Kristine simply said that basically she already knew everything, but she didn't want to cause trouble. So she was going to stay out of it. Clearly, staying out of Amber's life had become a pattern since Amber was born, and Amber tries including Kristine in all the drama by her own admission. Amber said that she told her mom everything with all the fighting and all the stuff that went on with Emily when she was in Wisconsin, and I think it's because she wants to see Kristine suffer and face a consequence for her wrongdoings toward Amber, but I think it still goes a step deeper. I think Amber wanted to jeopardize her mother's sobriety because I don't think Amber believes that Kristine deserves it. I don't believe Amber wants to see her mom live the life she, Amber, never knew and never will know. It's the resentment. I think it's in Amber's veins. I think it grows stronger and stronger every day as Kristine pushes Amber further to the back so she and her fiancé can live their own life, whatever they've chosen that to look like. I've noticed how often Amber has brought up her mother's sobriety, how she says it's the most important thing, and how proud she is of her mom for taking that step and getting clean, turning her life around. And Amber has also stated that the most important thing to Kristine is also her sobriety. It's her medal, the reward for fighting the hard fight and coming out alive. But is Amber really proud of her mom? I'm not so sure about that because we've watched her potentially threaten her mother's sobriety by having to take Amber to the Delta 8 shop or having Kristine take her to get alcohol and even having her mother use needles to inject her with the semaglutide that Amber was on. She put her mother in direct, easy access to drugs, alcohol, and needles. If Kristine's sobriety was so important to Amber, why risk a situation that could be triggering for her? It doesn't make sense unless she wanted to watch Kristine feel uncomfortable, uneasy, and potentially, over time, tempted. I think Amber is mean, and I think she's nasty, and I'm only talking about her personality right now. I think since she failed, she wants to see her mom fail. Because if Kristine had just done her job when Amber was young, Amber's life wouldn't be lived inside a tiny, smelly apartment, 600-pound body, a subculture called Hater Nation rightfully criticizing her behaviors, and Amber just might be that famous California girl she said before that she would have been had she been skinny. Again, everything I'm saying is only my opinion, and I have no special sources or insights into this. It's all based on observations seen in videos that Amber chose to make publicly accessible. But I think Amber has tried multiple ways to ruin Kristine's life, the way I think she blames Kristine for ruining hers. They're not close, in my opinion. Amber resents Kristine for ruining what could have been. And Kristine resents Amber, in my opinion, because Amber came back after all those years and has attempted to ruin her life through stress, through putting a serious strain on her relationship with Stephen, and for seemingly trying to put Kristine under enough torment to then introduce her to places where she could easily relapse in a moment of weakness and turn to substance abuse again. But what do you all think? Do they resent each other? Do you think Kristine ever bathed Amber in Oklahoma? Does Amber try to jeopardize her mom's sobriety? Did Amber try to make it appear that Stephen wanted skin to skin with Amber? And I feel sick saying that, by the way. But tell me your thoughts. You guys have the best insights and ideas, so please share them with me. I really believe that Amber tried to hit below the belt and ruin Christine's relationship with Stephen. I don't think Amber wants to see Kristine happy, and I don't think Kristine cares very much for Amber either. She's never fought for Amber the way a caring mother would fight for her child. Just think about it. I believe their relationship is absolutely in the dumps, and I think it always has been. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I'm willing to make this prediction, okay? I believe Amber is going to get into another relationship. And I believe that relationship is going to prompt her or encourage her to turn against her mother. I can see it boiling inside of Amber that she wants to as it is. And I believe she's only going to need a little bit of an outside push from a partner to turn against her mother publicly. Wait and see. It's going to happen. I can absolutely feel it in my bones. But I want your predictions. You have to tell me what you foresee happening, okay? I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you all again by Tuesday, if not before. But again, I want to thank all of you for everything. You girls are absolutely the best. Thank you so much. Bye for now.